Rob Tebbutt from Behind the Gloves. I'm here with Eddie Hearn. Looking a bit better today, Eddie.
Yeah, I was a bit rough at your call. It was, yeah, I've not been that well, but back ready, British beef here, and excited for a couple of days rest over Christmas and get rocking into 2018.
I was actually excited for a few days rest myself until I got the notification about this press conference.
Sorry about that. Yeah, we had to get it on sale before Christmas, so looking forward to it. Good presser, good fight. And I think a sign of things to come in 2018, which is to make the fights that essentially the fans are calling for, and that's what we have to do.
British beef. Who came up with the headline?
It's like, you know, it's British beef, isn't it? You know, like it's like with the kids. We're down with the kids, you see. So this is, it's what it is. It's British beef.
You are most certainly down with the kids.
I'm massively down with the kids. Yeah.
When I spoke to you at York Hall last week, you seemed a little bit fed up of talking about this fight. And in my opinion, it didn't really look like it was going to get made.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's, you know, been trying to get it over the line with Tebbutt, who's done a great job for Isaac in negotiating this fight. Quite rightly so. You know, this is a massive risk for both guys, so they want to get it right. They want to get the right deal. They've both done that, and now they get the opportunity to see who's the best. And that's what we want to see. You know, this is a fight that's been made through the demand of fans, and I think we're in a sport where, you know, fan demand makes fights, and we have to listen to that demand. It probably has come too early in their career, but the fighters want it, the trainers want it, the managers want it. So let's do it, February the 3rd, and find out who's the best.
What kind of predicament does that put you in as a promoter when you obviously promote both men, and as you say, it maybe is slightly too early for them? How is that for you when putting this fight together?
You know, again, I don't decide who fights who. I come up with ideas and opportunities, and I put it to the teams, to the fighters. Fighters can't be there to make their own decisions on fights. They'll fight anyone, but trainers, managers, advisors, you know, I say these are the options. And time again it was, give me Okolie-Chamberlain or give me Lawrence Okolie. I want to make that fight now. So ultimately, in the end, you have no choice but to make these fights. It's good news for fans. And I think 2018 we'll see fight fans stepping up. Sorry, fight fans, fighters and camps stepping up into these fights. And that's good news for everybody, because I think to be a star and to create big events, you have to make the fights, or be in the fights, that people want to see.
You talk about big events. Now, when I spoke to you last week, you told me that this fight does not headline the O2. You told me
it doesn't sell out the O2.
It doesn't sell out the O2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still hold true to that maxim?
Yeah, it doesn't sell out the O2. We're not going to sell 17,000 tickets for this fight. I think we can sell 5, 6, 7, 8,000, which is incredible. Since that night, you had Lawrence Okolie fight, you had another week of marination of the beef, and it's a gamble at the O2. But you know what? I've got a good feeling about this show. With Anthony Joshua involved in the card as well, more attention on the show, more exposure. I think it's going to do really well.
Just want to touch upon that really, because a lot of people are sort of curious as to know AJ's involvement in the show. I'm a little bit curious myself. What can you tell us about that?
It's a great opportunity for us to bring extra attention and profile to the fight. He manages Lawrence Okolie. I sat down with AJ last week, told him about the fight, and asked him if he'd be involved with the fight. I see plenty of speculation and stuff like that. If you can't understand the value that AJ brings to being involved with this fight, you must be mad. And does he want to be a promoter? No. Can he be involved in future promotions? I hope so. And people don't really know the ins and outs of our business relationship on many different levels. He's an incredibly smart man who adds incredible value to Matchroom. So to have him involved is a major coup. He also likes to learn. I've always brought him into the business dynamic of everything we do. And yeah, like having him here in between the two guys is gold dust for us. So that's really what it's all about.
You talk about the speculation. Just go into that a little bit further. I mean, a lot of people will sort of see this as AJ dipping his toes into the promoter's market. It's something that's been very successful with people like Floyd Mayweather. Yeah,
but AJ's starting out his career. He doesn't want to be a promoter. He doesn't want to be traipsing all over the country, doing radio interviews and going to venues and all that kind of stuff. To sprinkle him into these kind of events is perfect for him, perfect for us as well. So he's a very young man who's had just 20 fights and is the unified heavyweight champion of the world. He's got enough on his plate. He's got to beat Joseph Parker, he's got to beat Deontay Wilder. He does not want to promote shows or his shows. In time, I think he could be a very successful promoter when his career's done, and I hope that we can make sure that he learns enough to put him in that position at Matchroom. Would be incredibly valuable. But right now, the plain sole focus for AJ is to become undisputed heavyweight champion of the world and nothing else. You know, not being a promoter, not being a chef, you know, not being a footballer, just be heavyweight champion of the world. And, you know, like I said, to get him involved in this event was a major coup for us, and it's a good learning experience for him about seeing it from the other side and seeing what a pain in the arse it is as well.
Are you wary at all of having him involved in that side of the business with moving forward?
No.
Not worried that he may fly the nest?
No. Listen, anyone who wants to fly the nest can fly the nest. If they're never not happy with the job that we do, or they don't see the value in what we bring, I'm very relaxed. We have a great relationship with AJ. How long will we work together? I don't know. I believe for the rest of his career. I do. But who knows? But, you know, people said, oh, are you worried that this could be the foot in the door? No. But maybe I know the situation, you know, too well to be worried about that. We laugh about that. I've showed him the tweets from people saying, oh, this is the start of the takeover. He don't want to be involved. This is a pain in the arse. He's a fighter. But if I can get him involved in this kind of thing, brilliant for British boxing. Get more media. You saw it today with the turnout. You know, 3/4 of that was because of the British beef, or half of that, and the rest was also to see Anthony Joshua at the top table. So it's worked fantastically for us, and I hope that we can provide him with the business opportunities post boxing as well. If he wants it, he might not want to touch boxing after he's done. But no, I want him. I always have done. Let him into everything we do, and let him learn, and let him watch how the dynamics of business works.
Let's just backtrack. You say the plan for him is to be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world?
100%, the only plan.
The only plan is for him to be undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Last time I spoke to you, the Parker negotiations were coming along nicely.
Yeah, it's still going well. No, we've got contracts to go and be drafted, but I think there's a very good chance that fight's going to be next. I hope over Christmas we can get it locked off.
You also told me that at the time you were sort of up in the air about Dillian Whyte's opponent.
Looks like it's going to be Lucas Brown, March 24th at the O2 Arena, just finalising that now. But Brown was waiting for Parker. Looks like that's freed up now. We hope to make it Feb 3rd, but obviously the timing hasn't quite worked out. So all being well, I hope we can have an official announcement on Dillian Whyte's fight in the next week.
Dillian been chewing up the phone lines?
Yep, non-stop, complete pain in the arse, but you love Dillian Whyte, I love him, and he's a very good fighter. And he's there or thereabouts, you know, he's ready now. I think one more fight and we have to go on and fight for the world title.
I spoke to Billy Joe Saunders today. Billy Joe Saunders told me that he would like to see Tyson Fury fight Dillian Whyte in 2018.
Yeah, I'd love that, great fight. Yeah.
I'm sure you would like
it.
Yeah. Realistic?
Listen, Tyson Fury, we have a roadmap for Fury to come in and make an absolute fortune in whatever fights he wants, and then fight Anthony Joshua. But we've got to deal with reality, and until we see him back, there's little point. I mean, there's definitely little point talking about the AJ fight yet, but we'd love to see him back. Dillian Whyte, Tony Bellew, Anthony Joshua, all these fights. There's a fortune out there for Tyson Fury, and no, they're mainly with our guys. So we'll see. Tyson Fury's going to sign with the person who pays him the most money. It's not about the plan or the strategy or the marketing brief. It's just about the money. So we'll see what happens, and we'd love to see him back in the ring.
Just want to move away from your budding young stable, Eddie. Billy Joe Saunders defended his WBO World Middleweight Championship at the weekend. Did you catch the fight?
I woke up just as the fight started. I watched the first couple of rounds and I thought, this is going to be exactly the same for the next 10 rounds. So I'll turn it off, but I didn't because it was such a good performance. I kept it on and it was a masterclass. I mean, Lemieux was terrible, but because Billy Joe was just so awkward, so hard to read, so hard to beat. And I'm pleased with Billy Joe because he's gone from, he won't mind me saying this, a bit of a laughing stock to a real player, and he's going to make millions of dollars in his next fight, and I'm pleased for him and Dominic Ingle.
Speak about Dominic Ingle, I know that you know Dom fairly well through his dealings with Kell Brook and other fighters. How important do you think it is to have somebody like Dominic Ingle for Billy Joe?
It's very important because you've got to have someone that motivates you, and the best thing Billy done was move away from London, move away from his friend, move away from temptations, and he's got his nut down and he deserves all his success. Sometimes being in camp away from the luxuries of being in home is a good choice for certain people. He's a good example. Kell's the same as well. And Dominic Ingle is very good at motivating fighters, getting them in shape. He's done a great job with Billy Joe, and I think he's got a good future. Is
the Daniel Jacobs fight makeable?
No, I don't know. I mean, it's a fight we'd like, but Daniel Jacobs makes a lot of money. Billy Joe is going to want a lot of money in his next fight. I'm not sure Frank can afford to bring Jacobs to the UK, and I probably can't afford to bring Saunders to the US. So I'm not so sure. It's not being discussed. It's a fight we'd love to make, but we'll have to see.
How big an obstacle is your relationship with Frank? Because I know that you're not on each other's Christmas card lists. Is that the biggest obstacle, or is it just the case of the bottom line?
Not really. I think it's always the case of the bottom line with us. I don't do business based on relationships. So I don't care if I hate you or love you. If it's the right deal for our clients and for us as a business, we'll do it. So no problem making a Billy Joe fight. But it's not a case of because it's Frank Warren. I just think it's a fight that I don't see how the numbers add up. Like I said, Billy Joe should be wanting millions of dollars for his next fight. And Frank's got a tough job now to deliver that for him. But can we pay that for the Jacobs fight? I'm not so sure. Can he pay the millions of dollars that Danny Jacobs is earning in America? Probably not. So I don't know. It's nothing to do with Frank Warren. It's just a case of the dynamics of that fight. I'm not sure play out.
Do you have an update on opponent for Daniel Jacobs? I know you're looking to box him in Brooklyn.
Yeah, we're working on opponents right now. Numerous guys we're looking at, and obviously Billy Joe, one of them. But a lot of people are playing the waiting game for May the 5th with Canelo and Golovkin, and we're one of them. You know, and Billy Joe's one of them as well. So we'll see what happens.
And just finally, I want to touch upon the card and the rest of the card. You have Ohara Davis back in action. Spoke to him earlier. I asked him to sum up his 2017. Ohara, in typical fashion, said that 2017 was a great year, and 2018 will equally be great.
I think it will be. I mean, look, he lost, but he, like you said, he made a lot of money, got a lot of exposure, and learnt a lot in that fight as well. And he'll be back. He's a player in the division in 2018. You know, we wanted Robbie Davis Jr., we wanted Ashley Theophane. We need to find a good fight for him, and I want a big fight for him in the spring, summer as well. I think he'll fight for a world title in 2018. I do. Ted Cheeseman's in a brilliant fight with Carson Jones. It's such a tough fight because I know all about Carson Jones, we all do. And he will bring it like he did to Ben Hall. You know, and Ted's at that level that Ben Hall was at, you know, English title level. We'll see if he can go on and do better. Reece Bellotti, I think he's one of the most exciting fighters in the country right now. Great win over Jason Cunningham. He's got a fight against Ben Jones, who brings a lot of people with him. Joshua Buatsi, I think, is one of the best prospects in the country, as is Felix Cash, Danny Dignam. It's going to be a packed night of boxing.
Staying with Ohara, obviously Ohara suffered his sole career defeat against Josh Taylor. It sort of mirrors, in my opinion, the Okolie-Chamberlain fight. Two young prospects who don't really need to fight each other, fighting each other.
It doesn't really matter in some fights that you lose. You know, you can come back from it. Of course, the winner's going to go on and become a star, as Josh Taylor is doing now. But the loser can rebuild and come again. Same with Okolie against Chamberlain. But we're making the fights, as we did with Ohara and Josh Taylor, that the fights want to see, the fans want to see. And that's our obligation as a promoter, to make the fights that the fans want to see. It's been a great 2007. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your support. Have a great Christmas and New Year, and we'll see you in 2018.
And that was Eddie Hearn signing off.
Cheers, it was. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for speaking to Behind the Gloves, Eddie. Look forward to catching up with you soon. Have a great
Hi fans, it's Michelle Joy Phelps, and if you haven't already subscribed to my YouTube channel, make sure you go ahead and do so by clicking right here.